This one is called a full moon invert, or at least that is what I have seen it called most commonly. As always, if you have another name for this, if you've heard a different name, please feel free to share that with me. I feel like sometimes in pole, there are so many different names for so many different moves, I can't keep up. But full moon invert works for me. This looks similar to a full moon that we do usually in a cup grip. So for this one, you should have an invert from the floor. Okay, you don't need to have an aerial invert to work on this one. It definitely would help, but with this one, it is a momentum invert with some extra timing things into it. Okay, this one does get a little bit confusing. Okay, I do find with this, I don't know if you can see it very well, but I have wood floor lines for this. And if you have lines on your floor, sometimes it will help to kind of understand where our bodies are going with this invert. Okay, so with this invert, if I start on one side of the pole, I'm going to end up on the other side. Versus normally in an invert, especially on static pole, I start and finish on the same side. Spinning, we could end up anywhere. That being said, this full moon invert works on spin or static. Okay. Think about it of like, quite often in an invert, we tend to come at it with both legs at the same time, more like a center split, right? This one is more of a vertical split into it. No, you do not need to have a split. You don't have to have your legs straight for this one, but one leg leads before the other, much like a forward or a front split. So using the lines of this, actually I'm gonna stand on this side so you can kind of see it, and I'm gonna do it in slow-mo a little bit to kind of break down what's happening. First and foremost with this, I'm going to, whether you're going right side, left side, I'm going to kick with my inside leg to make this happen. And when I start this move, I would recommend your opposite leg stepping so that it's kind of in line with the pole, right? I don't want to step way back here and then try and kick through because I might not get through far enough to circle through. So stepping so you're somewhat in line of the pole will be much more helpful, okay? Then the inside leg is going to come up on this side and come down on this side, right? And like, so I'm going to slow it down a little bit. This leg comes up, over, down to this side. And then from here, now I'm just going to blow your mind and demystify this, and it's not nearly as fancy as it might look at full speed. The other leg joins it, and we invert, okay? But when we do it at speed, it looks so much more fancy, right? So, like I said, if you have lines on your floor, use those because it can sometimes get a little confusing where we're going with this. Something that I have found with this, if you do shoulder mount cartwheels, this one, it is a very similar movement. No, you do not need to have that move to make this one work. But if you are someone that does those already, this has a similar trajectory. So let's talk about what's happening here. As I go through this, hand height, personal preference, okay? So hands low, hands high. Just remember, just like with any invert, the higher up my hands are, the more I need to pull up. So it's just a question of where's your strength at right now? Does this work pulling up? Absolutely. Does it work down here? Absolutely. Okay, so height with your hands is going to be up to you. Where do you usually put your hands when you invert? Go with that. Okay, so outside leg steps in line with the pole. Inside leg leads through. So here's the common mistake I see with this one, similar to with the shoulder mount cartwheel, is everyone tends to kick to about here and then go this way on a horizontal plane. I have a low ceiling here, you may or may not have noticed. And so I do find I kind of make this move a little bit smaller here because I don't want to kick the ceiling. But if you have a higher ceiling, or if you're okay putting your feet on the ceiling, think of trying to reach your legs all the way up. I think of trying to bring my belly button to the pole as if I was going to go to a crucifix, and then I change my mind and I continue the other direction. Okay, so I step up, belly button to the pole to come through. And of course, when I slow it down, it looks much different. Okay, so that's the first part, just that little part. I know when you do just that first half, it doesn't look nearly so spicy, right? But just to start to feel where everything is going is really helpful. Okay, so up, belly button to the pole, come down the other side. So it makes this and down. Now, from there on the other side, now you have a choice to make. You can bring your legs down. The goal is to not touch the ground. Pretend it's hot lava when we put it together. Bring your legs down so that your torso is more all in line, or you can bring your legs to more of a pike, okay? And what I mean by that is if I come through down and then up versus, and I still have a little pike because I don't want to kick the floor, okay? Or I can go up, around, and then through. That is a personal preference. Also, I find if I'm doing it on spin pull, I'm more inclined to do the more horizontal legs versus on static down and up. That being said, whichever body position I'm going to, with it more piked, with it more straight, I do still want to make sure that I go up and over to the other side and then to whatever shape that is. Okay, so I'm not just wrapping to the pike right away, I'm going all the way around. Okay, so let's real quick walk through this real quick. I'm going to put it in slow-mo for you so that you can see what's going on. Okay, inside hand, whatever height you want to start. I would recommend starting with your inside hand on the pole and then stepping in and adding the outside as you step into it, but personal preference. Outside foot is going to step in line with the pole. You're going to lead with that inside leg, kick up, belly button to the pole. From there, belly button to the pole, legs either come down to vertical or in that more pike position. Think about clicking your ankles together to close the circuit and then tipping back into that invert. And that completes your full moon invert. And I'm guessing it was called a full moon invert because it makes a full moon all the way through. So try this one out. As I said earlier, it works great on spin or static. Pick your poison. Do keep in mind if you are doing it on spin and planning to take it into like a leg hook or just like anything on spinning pole, this one you want to think about where you're going with it. This one will create a lot of momentum because it's more dynamic invert, right? So depending on where you're going, once you get into your spinning pole pass, if you're taking it to an invert with a leg hook, something like that, you are going to have a much faster spin. But as far as mechanics on this one, difficulty of it, personally, I don't feel a huge difference in the difficulty of static to spin with this, but I like doing both static and spin. So my recommendation for pullers that ask, should I start on static? Should I start on spin? My answer would be, which are you more comfortable on? If you're more comfortable starting with something on static, 100% start on static. If you are totally comfortable on spin and you tend to try things the first time on spin, do you, boo? I tend to do the same thing, but it was not always that way. There was a time in my pole life when spin was not my favorite. I know, hard to believe. So have some fun with this one. Test it out. Try it out on both sides. Let me know how it goes. I would love to see. And of course, as always, if you do try this one out, put it in a combo, post it, whatever. Please tag me because I love doing a happy dance and seeing moves that pullers have worked on and mastered from my tutorials. Of course, if you don't feel comfortable posting on social media, feel free to email it to me. I would love to see. Like I said, I love celebrating your wins. I love being a part of your pole journey, and I am so honored to be a part of your pole journey. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. And of course, as always, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my EBFit Pollers weekly emails and or check out the EBFit Pole app where you'll find tutorials released weekly, so many other training tips, pole inspo, and more. You can find all of those at www.thepoleapp.com or of course, all kinds of training resources on my website at www.elizabethbfit.com.